Inside every cell of your body, billions of tiny machines are hard at work. They carry oxygen in your blood, let your eyes detect light, and even make your muscles move. These machines are proteins, and they underpin every biological process in every living thing. Each protein has an intricate 3D shape that defines what it does and how it works. We know of over 200 million proteins and counting, but we only know the exact 3D shapes of a fraction of these. Unravel a protein, and you'll see it's like a string of beads made up of 20 different types of amino acids. Interactions between these amino acids make the protein fold, as it finds its shape out of almost limitless possibilities. For decades, a community of scientists have been working on a way to figure out a protein's shape, just from its string of amino acids. This is a major challenge in our understanding of biology. So we created an AI system to solve this problem called AlphaFold. It's trained on the sequences and structures of about 100,000 proteins, painstakingly mapped out by scientists around the world. Today, it can accurately predict a protein shape just from its sequence of amino acids. AlphaFold's predictions could enable progress in all sorts of areas. Imagine a future where we can understand diseases more quickly and develop drugs to fight them, or one where we could use enzymes to break down plastic waste, or even to capture carbon from the atmosphere, all with the help of proteins. There's a lot more work to be done, but unlocking the shapes of these building blocks could help scientists better understand the natural world, and perhaps expand our knowledge of life itself.
Hello everyone. A year ago, there were some people in China beginning to get seriously ill, and probably coronavirus spreading without us knowing it to some parts of the world. And of course we know that quite quickly through Christmas and beyond, the coronavirus announced itself onto the world stage very powerfully. And we feel the consequences of that in the UK 9 months on from going into lockdown and beginning to realize that life wasn't going to be the same for some time to come. It's been a long time. But it's also just a year, less than a year from the beginnings of our experiencing of the impact of this virus upon human beings to today having the announcement that in the United Kingdom, the first of any country in the world, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine has been approved for use. And 800,000 or so doses will be arriving in the next week for immunizations to begin next week. That's an extraordinary thing. That science and discovery and then processing and manufacturing and testing and certifying has taken such a brief period of time. It's felt like a long time for us in lots of other ways. But in the science of the last year, it's been going at Formula One speeds, if not faster. I find that fascinating. I hope you do too. And we opened this video with just 2 minutes or so of a project called AlphaFold, which is part of DeepMind, and DeepMind is an artificial intelligence company, part of the Google the Google company's suite of investments in the world. We might have suspicions about Google and the likes of Facebook and others being in some ways the big brother in our world, but they also are doing some amazing work. And DeepMind and AlphaFold as part of that are significant. So what is you saw the video. What is AlphaFold? It is a piece of very intelligent, intuitive software that is able to predict accurately the shapes of protein molecules, which are the little machines that work everything in our human bodies and pretty much everything in the living world. And what's extraordinary is that it's able to be as accurate as it is. See, if you have a peptide chain of 100 amino acids, and each of those can fold in 3 different directions, then when you start from the beginning and you go through to the end, you have 3 to the power of 99 possibilities. Now, I won't do the maths. All I'll tell you is that it's been postulated for some decades that folding with some accuracy one protein strand of 100 molecules, 100 molecules, that to do that would take more time than there has ever been in the history of the universe. And yet there is an incredibly accurate piece of artificial intelligence that will now then do that, which could unlock enormous possibilities, as you've heard already, in terms of medicine, addressing climate change, addressing pollution. All kinds of possibilities are there. The thing that really fascinated me when I heard about this, and I heard about it just this morning while I was out on my bike, was that the interview, there was a radio interview on Radio 4 in the Today program with Demis Hassabis, who's one of the founders of DeepMind. And what I found really fascinating was that he made reference to a computer game that people have been playing for several decades now, for quite a while. And the game is called Fold It. And Fold It is in fact a kind of, I've had a look at their website, an umbrella suite of games that are trying to solve scientific problems through play, through computer gaming. And Fold It has been responsible for some real breakthroughs in our understanding of how proteins form the 3D shapes that they form. And that's happened not because people are super intelligent, but because humans are intuitive. We make deductions in a way that isn't always logical when you think of logic in the way that computers would understand it, as a series of consequent actions or suppositions, depending on the previous one. So why I tell you all of this morning? Well, partly because I just think it's fascinating. Partly because I'm very glad that we're in a position now in our country and shortly around the world. We're in a position to be able to offer to people the opportunity to be immunized against coronavirus, because that's good for everyone. I'm astonished at the speed at which that's happened. I'm also this morning incredibly moved by the way that creativity and ingenuity and tenacity and all of the best things in human beings that are about making discoveries in complex areas, just keeping at it, thinking up whole new ways of actually constructing vaccines. These vaccines that are part of the suite of coronavirus vaccines, all three that we know about so far, are all using quite a radically new technique. They have the mechanism by which they work is quite new in vaccine technology. I'm very grateful that as I look out the window, feeling overwhelmed by the little things on my desk, there are people out there who are tackling major situations and struggles and problems and dilemmas in the world because they are fascinated by the process of doing so. And they are not just intelligent, but they are creative, and they are innovative, and they are quirky, and they show great endurance in the cause that they're fighting a corner for, that they're trying to bring to the world. Having a look at the Fold It website, for example, they've just put out an announcement for the start of December. There's a kind of bulletin every month. And design of the month, do you want to know what design of the month on Fold It was? Well, I think I can understand for November it was a designed protein linker for 2 COV spike binders. Now, I don't know who Jumper 2 is, Mike Lewis. It's 3 people, Jumper 2, Mike Lewis, and Enzyme. But people have been plugging away, playing a game, having fun in the process of solving a puzzle that shapes the world. And today I want to simply be in praise of creativity. I want to be in praise of playfulness. I want to be in praise of imagination and endurance and science. And while science often sounds very, very cold, boring and methodical, science in this moment is showing us the very best in human beings, as science has done many times before, showing us that the very best in us pool together, not just because we're bright, but because we are creative, playful, tenacious, that we are together so much more than we are on our own, but that in each and each of us there lurks that same spark of creativity, that same spark of curiosity, and maybe both the will and the capacity and the opportunity to do something with those that's good for other people. I look back on 9 months and I see lots of things in my own life and in the lives of people. But reflecting, as I did just a few minutes ago with those who've gathered for our 10 o'clock gathering on a Wednesday morning as part of Haxby and Wigginton Methodist Church's life, we talked about all that's emerged, that has demonstrated and shown creativity, attention, the revaluing of our relationships. But we have seen so much innovation, so much creativity, so much, I've said that word enough times now, haven't I? So much flourishing because people have ideas, and because people join the dots, and because people say, what if? And because people say, let's knuckle down and do something today together. But incoherent and rambling this morning. If you want to know more about Fold It, just type Fold It Game into Google and you'll find it. If you want to know more about AlphaFold and DeepMind, just again Google them and you'll discover the place where I found that video and some more just very, very simple but very inspiring, I think, information about what they're trying to do in that and every part of that artificial intelligence project and the Fold It suite of games and puzzles. Stay creative, have fun, play, and let those things be just as important in our getting through this time as walking and eating and sleeping and all the things that matter. But let's stay creative, and let's give thanks today for creativity, for innovation, for all that's happening that is hopeful in our world today. See you tomorrow. Cheers.